Hello, heart-centered entrepreneur. It's Tash Corbin here, and welcome to another episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. This is episode number 161, which means you can find all the relevant links and show notes for today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/161. In today's episode, I'm going to answer the question, what should you launch next in your business? How do I know the answer? Well, it's a little bit magic. Let's dive in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. How could I possibly know, just in this podcasting format, the exact thing that you should launch next in your business? Well, I can know without even knowing you or your business, because for 99% of my audience, your next launch should be the exact same thing as your last launch. Yes, that's true. So for so many people, the best thing that they could do in order to really maximize the results of their next launch is to launch the same thing that they just launched. Does that make sense? Why should you be relaunching the same thing when you've just launched it? Well, number one, it's your opportunity to repeat the launch, and with a great review of the previous launch and looking at some of your key launch metrics, you'll be able to make those minor tweaks and changes or major ones to nail the reach, lead generation, and conversion of that launch and get it scaling up faster. If your last launch didn't work, you need to make some improvements and changes so that you can get it to work more effectively. The best time to launch it is now. As soon as the last launch is over, spend some time doing your review and preparing for the next one, and then roll into launch again. If your last launch did work, then you want to look at ways to improve the conversion rates even more and then scale it up to larger and larger audiences. And the best time to do that is when that last launch is finished, you do the review and prepare and get ready for your next launch. It's the mistake I made when I first launched the Takeoff program that I wish I could go back and fix. Rather than launching the Takeoff program and then going into a launch of something else, I wish that 2014 Tash had the opportunity to hear from 2022 Tash to say to her, wait, the best thing you can do is relaunch Takeoff again. Do it again, and then do it again. You're creating momentum. You're growing your audience with the exact right people. And the people most likely to buy from you in your next launch are the people who were active participants in the last one but didn't convert. So for people who work with me inside my Leverage and Launch program, this is the process and the strategy that I recommend for them, is that you create your first leverage product, you go out and launch it, and then you launch it again, and then you launch it again. We want to snowball that momentum, create this amazing acceleration in the results that you achieve in that launch. And the fastest way to stop that snowball and to dry up that momentum is to distract your audience with something different, is to take your audience down a different pathway or speak to a different outcome, or even worse, focus on a different niche. The best thing for you to launch is the thing that you just launched last time. So I hope this has been a really thought-provoking episode for you. I'm keeping it super short and simple because it is as short and simple as that. Now, one thing I will say is next time you launch, give yourself a longer runway than last time you launched. That's usually also the main way I see people really costing themselves conversion and momentum in their launches, is their runway for their launch isn't long enough. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about runways, then make sure that you come over to tashcorbin.com/161. And with the show notes of today's episode, I'll pop a link to my launch training so that you can understand the different phases of a launch, some of the key strategies to make sure your launch works. And then I want you to go and relaunch the thing you just launched. That's the thing. If you have any questions, of course, you can slide on into my DMs on Facebook and Instagram. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. Thanks so much for joining me for this very short episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.